Okay, here I am back with another video. This one is new character part 3, so picking up right where I left off with the previous video, looking at how I'm progressing my game, my characters in free-to-play, spending no cash, and so this is part 3 on a relatively new character. So there's still a few more things I'm working on here to post the hyper summon to improve my character. The first thing that I need to do is, for better or worse, the Dragoon is what I got, and his weapon, you know, it's what I got. So I mentioned in the very first video that we want to save our materials, things like crystals, so on and so forth. Now that I have this job, my onion training jobs, I have no intentions to ever taking them beyond where they're at right now. You know, the ranger, the warrior, and the mage, if I have my way, there will be no crystals spent on them again to advance their skill panels. So what do I want to save my crystals for then if I'm not using them on those job panels? Well, I need to customize my weapon. So here's the boost weapon option in the shop menu. And I'm not boosting those other weapons, right? Those onion job weapons, they're just staying the same. But I do want to do the Dragoon weapon. And let's see. It's such terrible, the stats on that thing. But for better or worse, it's what I have. So the attack power is only 55 on that. That's a little bit encouraging in the sense that you can go up to 200. So at least I know that if I up the weapon, the Dragoon is going to be quite a bit better. And maybe this is why people complain about the Dragoon, is that some people are running this guy and they've not upgraded it before they go to multiplayer. And so I've got a lot of light seeds, which is awesome. So I'm just going to start boosting this attack, and that's all I'll probably boost. Just attack, attack, attack until I get it. If not maxed, at least way further increase, so the character is useful. So that is the first thing, weapon upgrades. I think it's every, well, let's go and check. If we go to boost weapon, it says, oh yeah, every 6 boosts, then you get to modify, and you have to use 2 crystals to modify the weapon. And the modify can increase any of those stats on there. It can give you a new auto ability, increase defense, speed, okay, any of that stuff, crit. So we want to get as many modifications as we can. So that's the strategy there. Now the next thing is I need to continue with my card modifications. I don't mind, you know, grinding out and leveling up my new cards here, right? I spent on K2R in the ability shop. But what I'm going to do is speed things up a little bit because I have these other cards. So let me click on this. Let me click Fusion. And I have all of these, you know, experience Cactar cards, and quite frankly, they're not doing me any good just sitting here. I might as well use a few of them to level up the card a little bit. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. And that'll make my character a little bit more useful if I want to try some 1 or 2 tier multiplayer later, 1 or 2 star. My stuff won't be too low. And this can go all the way up to 63 actually, because it is 4 star. I use my grow stars on it, remember, so let's use one of these. You can speed this up if you click up to 33. These higher levels are hard to get. Let's use some more. Like I said, this is probably the best card in the game, so I have nothing else really to use these Cactar cards on, and they're not that hard to get, to be honest, especially if you're working on the hard mode versions for chapters 1, 2, or 3. And 39, let's go over 40. Let's go, whoops. Let's use one more. I guess there's no real reason to save them, except that it will gradually level up, so on its own. Alright, that's 41. Alright. The cost of effectiveness of those is wearing out. Now, the other thing actually I want to do to fuse with this is, if I, whoops, let me go here. You'll see that if you're a new player, you might not be aware of this, that you can add these extra skills and you get to control loosely what skill goes there. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to fuse. And here are my options, these fractals. Well, 4-star fractals give you a better opportunity for something good than 3-star, so oops. Let's go ahead and see what we get. I'm early on with this character. I don't have a lot of these yet. Enhanced Dark 3%. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do another one because that really doesn't help me at all. Enhancing Dark. It does nothing for me, so let's try another one. You can replace these, but you lose Enhance Light. Ha! That does nothing for me. Try one more time to get something. Is this a 4? It's a 3. Maybe the rest are just 3 stars. Well, give it another shot, see what we get. There are Resist Dark. Well, that's better than Enhance. The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm basing on the Dragoon, and so he can't use the dark attacks. What attacks can he do? Well, he uses Earth. Let's just try this. Well, that's a 4-star one. Job change recast. I don't care about job change recast. I don't know if other people like those, but I really don't. I think there's other things that are far more useful. So basically there's 2 types. There's a whole list of abilities you can get. Enhance Earth. That will take. At least it applies to the main character that I'm going to be using the card with. Based on the element... Actually, I'm not going to do it again, but based on the element, there is a set possibilities in terms of that element for resist or enhancement, and then there's also a whole variety of general use type abilities, and I wasn't getting... Job Recast was the only one you saw there. For this card, eventually I want more of a general use there because it will be used for a lot of different characters in a lot of different situations down the road. But that's enough of that for now. Okay, the other issue I have, remember, with this character is what I'm going to do about multiplayer, and I was talking about that in the last video. And one of the things I'm going to need is a lower defense against break card, because he is a breaker, and so I'm probably really going to need that. I can't count on other characters to always have one in multiplayer. So the problem I have is, what am I going to use? And there's 2 possibilities. One is to just go with, continue with my short-term strategy of using, well, that one lowers critical resist, but get one like this for the fighter that's break. That's the short term. The stats aren't really any different than what's in the ability shop. I'll show you that in a second. The only one difference is that you can't upgrade these to 4-star, but you wouldn't want to anyway. The other option, now players in multiplayer aren't going to like to see that, I can tell you that right now. Many of them might just boot me if they see me with that, and so that is a problem, even though the stats are the same as some things in the ability shop. So for the ability shop, I have, for my breaker, Dragoon Breaker, I have a few options. Well, he uses fire, water, and earth, so here is an area earth, lowers defense against break. But I've been trying to where I maximize the use of my ability tickets. Now, of all of the things that I'm trying to save, the ability tickets are one thing that I'm willing to spend. I'm not doing a card summon no matter what. I'm not using Magicite no matter what. Those things are out. I'm using the Grow Stars very selectively. And so I have to decide whether I want to spend ability tickets either on this one, Bahamut, or the other option is this Titan here, which is also 43. So my breaker can use both of these. They'll lower defense against break. If I go with one of these cards, I'm pretty much saying I'm going to use Grow Stars on it. And so it's really more about deciding if I want to use the Grow Stars on one of these cards or not, more than the ability tickets. The other option I have is this one that's only 3 tickets. And so this is the main thing I'm trying to think about. Do I want this Ice Hammer card? Now this is a single target, lowers defense against break, which is why it's cheaper than the other two. And when it comes to the Sicarus battles, you have the guards that you have to fight, but you know, it might be that this is just okay, right, for multiplayer. Now he'll be no good against Shiva, the Ice Sicarus, but for the other ones it'll be fine, it'll work. Be most effective, of course, against the Fire Ifrit. So that's pretty much where I'm at. If I spend just 3 tickets on this, it also says, do I want to spend Grow Stars on it? Because really the functionality of this card is no different, really, than this just farmable card in the regular game. These here, right? The stats on them are completely comparable, very same stats. Okay. Now the one thing is this card can't have unlock on it, a fractal. So that's something, but not a major issue. And so that's the decision to be made about the defense against break, and I haven't made up my mind on that one, because spending anything in the ability shop, like I said, essentially is pretty much saying that at some point I'm committing Grow Stars to it, and that's an important decision to make. The final thing that I want to show you that I'm going to work on for upgrading my my new character here, my new job, is the custom skill. I showed in another video that I've already acquired some of the level 1-star cards, and basically I was drawing these 1-star cards because I wanted this attack +3 at least for farming in single player, or for just advancing in single player with my monk. Now I have a different choice to make, because now that I have a good job card, I want to put these good custom skills on here. And that's going to be really important, since, from my opinion, the stats on this breaker are already low, so it makes these even more important. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'll definitely put this break +5 there. And I'm going to put the attack +5 there. I guess I have 2 with a break +5, so I'll put both of those there. And if you're paying attention, it's going to up my values here. So now the question is, what strategy do I use for the skill seeds? Or for these custom seal cards? Well, a lot of this stuff I don't really care about. Some of it's very situational. You know, the Earth Resist, or Earth Enhance, is only good if you're running certain cards, and you don't want to be changing these out all the time. I want to conserve some of my skill seeds. I'm using those on my weapon modification, right? So I don't want to just waste them constantly changing things out on here. And so I'm basically going to be focused on attack and breaking cards here to increase my abilities for multiplayer, because I've got to be functional in multiplayer to get my better cards, okay, for my attacks from the Sicarus battle. So let's go to shop, and we have skill draw here. This is where you draw your skill cards. Now there's multiple options here. I'm not going to draw the 1 anymore. because there's nothing I'm going to get from the one draw that makes any sense, that's going to be of any use now, really, for those characters. I want to get better ones. Let me go back for a second. You see I have 51 level 2 skills, 182 level 1 skills, and 1 level 3. So I can go ahead and draw the level 3. There's nothing to gain by leaving it. The problem with these level 3 draws is that it's hard to get those level 3 tickets. And to make matters worse, they often give you shit like that. Okay, avert bio plus 15%. Okay, well, how often do I really need that? Unless it's you're fighting a very specific enemy, I just don't see the point in carrying that around, say, in single-player game, okay? So the problem is, the more general use 3-star cards that are very good, you're going to get, maybe 50 to 70% of other stuff, or even more, that isn't useful. And to get more of these, I gotta use 150 1-star or 50 2-star cards just to get 1 3-star. So essentially, I can only get 2 more. If I use my resources, I only get 2 more 3-star cards. And out of those 2 more cards, I could get nothing that I really want. So what I'm going to focus here on at this point of the game is getting as many 2-star cards as I can. And so I'm not going to draw them all here in the video, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to I'm going to use my resources all on 2-star cards. There are some halfway decent ones that you can get. There's different levels within each skill draw. Okay, as you saw, there was a +3 attack, +5 attack for star 1. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to get some useful cards out of the draw too. I'm going to focus on that. It also doesn't cost as many skill seats to place those cards in your custom card slots for your job character. Okay, the higher you go with those cards, the more they cost. Like if I go here, I'll just click on the 3-star, and you'll see that is a ton, almost 100,000 skill seats to place this 3-star card that I think right now the usefulness is completely bonkers. Okay, not cost effective at all. I'm just going to ignore it for now. Alright, so that is part 3 of upgrading my new character. I'm going to continue with these skill draws, try to get some good level 2 skill cards for my custom character. My next videos, I'm going to switch over probably to some multiplayer videos. So keep watching. Thanks so much. Peace out for now.